Welcome to the live. Welcome. Greetings to you. Today, we're going to be talking about how, surprisingly, K-pop demon hunters completely explains narcissistic abuse. And I'll tell you why I'm going to talk about narcissistic abuse from the perspective of K-pop demon hunters. Why? Why are we going to talk about escaping the world of the hell realm from the perspective of narcissistic story, which is K-pop demon hunters? That's what we're going to be talking about today. Escaping narcissistic abuse through a children's movie. Can you believe it? K-pop demon hunters. I'll tell you why I want to talk to you today about this movie, K-pop demon hunters, to make this point about escaping narcissistic abuse. I'm going to tell you in just a second. So welcome to the channel. Welcome to Inner Mileage. My name is Dr. Nana Gyesie, and I'm your resident coach and transformational guide. Today we're talking about escaping narcissistic abuse through the lens of the movie K-pop Demon Hunters. K-pop, the kids movie K-pop Demon Hunters? That's what we're talking about today. How it's in plain sight now. And if you're ready to escape, there's no better time. This is the time. And if you've already escaped, how do you sustain being out of the matrix, out of hell? So this is what we're talking about today. So come on in. Welcome. So maybe we'll get started. Let's get started. You see, where's all this coming from? I went to a birthday party last Saturday with my 5.5-year-old daughter. Everyone in her class is now 6. And the birthday party was held at a movie theater. And the movie they were showing was the movie K-pop Demon Hunters. K-pop Demon Hunters. And like many parents, I entered the theater with love, but intellectual disengagement, right? Because I would be present, supportive, but mildly bored. But what I did not expect to encounter was a compressed civilizational teaching, a symbolic transmission that integrates trauma psychology and everything we've been talking about. And about halfway through the film, I realized that the story was not about demons, even though it's called K-pop Demon Hunters, and it's about demons and demon hunters. The story was about how souls are lost in predatory systems, narcissistic systems, and how your self or non-self is retrieved. And more importantly, why this knowledge is passed on to children. You see, so the hero in the movie was somebody called Rumi. If you can believe it, they hid it in plain sight. They call the hero Rumi. And Rumi is not written as an individual hero. She's written as what psychology calls a pattern interrupter. Rumi in the movie, yes. And in family systems theory, this is the member of the family who becomes conscious, the black sheep, who refuses unconscious loyalty and breaks this recursive trauma loop. And in epigenetics, we know trauma is not just remembered, it is expressed across generations via methylation and patterns of these stress response genes. And in Buddhist psychology, this is what's called samsara, cycles repeating until wisdom appears. So Rumi, who's the lead character in this story, K-pop Demon Hunters, embodies the empath born into a system where sensitivity is punished, where attunement is exploited, and authenticity threatens stability. And her early identity is adaptive, not free. So I kept telling my daughter, you're like Rumi. My daughter said, yes, I know, Dad, I know. And she knew it because we were sharing this experience together. And I said, am I making sense or am I making this up? She says, no, I understand, Dad. So empaths do not start asleep. The empath starts hyper-aware, and the empath does not dissociate because the empath is weak, but because the system's required. Now tell me, am I talking to you or am I going off on an expedition that has nothing to do with you? Someone tell me if I'm talking to you, type transform. I want to know. K-pop Demon Hunters. Believe it or not, K-pop Demon Hunters. You see, K-pop demon hunters. This whole K-pop phenomenon from Korea. And for the makers of this movie, I don't know who you are, but hey, if you want to invite me to Korea, talk about how this movie sets people free, I'll talk to you. So this is thank you, manifestation of deity. Thank you for confirming. You see, so let me keep going. You see, the empath does not disassociate because the empath is weak, but because the system, the narcissistic system, the family, the society requires it. So now we must sit down, and I want to talk about the most revealing sequence in this film, K-pop Demon Hunters. It's a scene where souls are taken. This is an animated film for kids, right? But there's this scene where souls are taken. And I want to tell you about the mechanics of it. That the souls are not stolen through violence. They are siphoned through seduction. They are siphoned through confusion. They are siphoned through what they think is voluntary participation. They are siphoned because they are offered false belonging. And this is exactly how narcissistic abuse functions. This is exactly how narcissistic abuse functions. Now, the psychological evidence of this is trauma bonding occurs when fear and reward are paired. You see, an attachment, you begin to codependently attach, overriding discernment. And then you shift your validation to this person. And chronic narcissistic abuse affects your ability to think. This creates depersonalization, which is why the people want to gift themselves away to these narcissistic systems, as it was shown in this movie, K-pop Demon Hunters. Now, across shamanic traditions, even across West Africa, the Dogon, the Yoruba, the Akan, the Ewe, this exact phenomena is called soul loss. And soul loss, even though something there is no permanent soul, there's no Atman or Anatta, soul loss occurs when the psyche fragments under sustained threat, and parts of the self withdraw to prevent annihilation. And the film depicts this with disturbing accuracy. Because it's not a fantasy. This is psychology rendered symbolically. So the point is, darkness is not evil. Darkness is not evil. Darkness is simply disconnection. Darkness is not evil. Darkness is simply disconnection. And darkness is disconnection from source. Darkness is disconnection from coherence. You see, darkness is disconnection from your truth. In the film K-pop Demon Hunters, the dark realm is not chaotic. It is sterile, it is performative, it is addictive, it is sad, it is hollow, it is miserable, and this matches the exact survival report of narcissistic systems exactly. From a family science perspective, these narcissistic systems are entropy maximizing. They consume more energy than they generate. That's why it's vampiristic. And they require constant external input to survive. In Buddhist psychology, this corresponds to the hell realm, which is not just a realm of punishment, but a state of consciousness characterized by craving, aversion, and ignorance. Meaning, hell is not fire, as the Bible says. Hell is life without presence. Hell is life without presence. And once you see this pattern, you cannot unsee it. You see, you cannot unsee it. So you realize that children who are watching this movie, K-pop Demon Hunters, are children who have not fully collapsed into dissociation. Their nervous systems are more plastic, more honest, less of a performance presence, whilst adults survive by numbing perception, the zombie state. That's why I was watching this movie as a child, and I saw it all, the animation. And I'm not a big fan of animation movies, but the animation, the music, the myth, the symbol, this is how wisdom survives predatory epochs. K-pop Demon Hunters is about how you escape. Now, the most scientific insight here is narcissistic systems are energetically unstable. Narcissistic systems, like in K-pop demon hunters, are energetically unstable because they depend on external validation, because they depend on emotional extraction, and because they depend on identity fragmentation, these narcissistic systems, right? So the way you overcome the narcissistic systems is to simply withdraw participation. Simply withdraw participation. Simply withdraw participation, like this character did in this movie, K-pop Demon Hunters. You see, and let me tell you, you have to become non-resonance with in narcissistic abuse. And this lady, this Rumi character, already knew that even though she had a marking of a demon, she was not a demon. You see, she knew she was different, but she knew she was not a demon. And the only way to overcome narcissistic systems is to withdraw your consent. You have to withdraw your consent from playing that game, because that game is a game of illusions. Revoke your consent. And non-resonance is not withdrawal. Non-resonance is simply refusing to play the game. Not symbolically, but really. Not at a performative distance, but an actual exit from that energetic economy. Now, let me go deeper into this. Most people think withdrawal is an action, and withdrawal is not an action. Withdrawal is simply a state change, a change of your state. That's what withdrawal is, just like in K-pop Demon Hunters. And when resonance ends, extraction automatically ends. So let me tell you what resonance exactly is. The scientific definition of resonance is frequency coupling between systems. So when two systems resonate, their rhythms entrain each other. Their feedback loops synchronize, and energy transfers between them, which is why in the movie K-pop Demon Hunters, the demons took on the avatars of very good-looking young men so they can entice fans to come and listen to K-pop and transport those souls to the demonic realm. This is the movie K-pop Demon Hunters. And this is done through trauma bonding. It is through getting you to emotionally react and to be dysregulated, fragmented. You have to realize that narcissistic abuse survives through affective attunement. So supply requires emotional synchronization. When there's no resonance, there's no transfer of energy. Now, why leaving narcissistic systems without non-resonance fails? So all this main character, Rumi, had markings of being a demon. She was not resonant with wickedness. You see, most people go no contact, change locations, block numbers, or cut ties socially, but remain internally resonant, meaning your nervous system still reacts. The story still loops. The body still braces, and the mind still explains, defends, and rehearses. And by the way, if I'm talking to you, type transform in the comment section. I don't want to just be talking to myself. If I am talking to you, type transform in the comment section. And I know this message is not for everyone, but it's for who it's for. If I'm talking to you and you're really beginning to connect to no resonance from the perspective of K-pop Demon Hunters, type transform in the comment section. I want to know I'm talking to you. I want to know I'm talking to you. Let me know, Christine. Thank you. If I'm talking to you, type transform in the comment section. Let me know, manifestation of deity. Thank you. Thank you. So let me keep going. Isla, Dawn Marie, let me keep going. For those who have ears to see and eyes to hear, This is what I'm saying. Non-resonance is not indifference. Non-resonance is coherence. Luca Rosa. Non-resonance is not numbness. It's on Netflix. Great. K-pop Demon Hunters. Non-resonance is emotional regulation. Numbness is when you collapse. Numbness is when you freeze, you dissociate. Non-resonance is where you are present without the emotional charge from the narcissist. It's where you have your awareness without the charge from the narcissist. It's where you can make contact if you need to without being consumed by narcissistic energy. This is upekkha, equanimity in the Buddhist perspective. And in physics, this is called a phase mismatch with narcissistic systems, because the narcissistic system cannot reach for you. There's nothing to grab when you are in non-resonance. And the moment non-resonance clicks, here's how you know it's happened. You no longer rehearse your conversations. The behavior of the narcissist in your life feels informational, not personal. Informational. Your body no longer braces from when they appear, especially if you have children with them or still have business with them. You don't need distance to feel safe. Silence feels full, the hermit mode, because it's only in silence that source communicate. You can hear source communicating in you, through you. That is the exit. And I want to tell you why non-resonance collapses narcissistic systems. And by the way, if you want to know the truth in your specific context, book a free session with me at innermileage.com and I'll tell you the truth, even if we're not a fit. So why does non-resonance collapse narcissistic systems? Narcissistic systems are parasitic fields. Narcissistic systems are parasitic fields. They do not generate coherence, narcissistic systems. They borrow it. You see, narcissistic systems borrow coherence because it's empty fundamentally. It's a vacuum. You see, these narcissistic systems are a vacuum because they require emotional mirroring. They require reactivity. They require identity contrast. They require narrative opposition, like the Rumi experience as the main character in K-pop Demon Hunters. Thank you. When resonance ends with narcissistic systems, or you come into non-resonance with narcissistic systems, manipulation fails, provocation dies, control evaporates. When Rumi revealed herself with her markings, she couldn't be manipulated. She had nothing to hide anymore. This is why narcissistic systems or partners escalate when they feel you're withdrawing. They are not losing you. What they are losing is power access. Non-resonance is not a technique. Non-resonance is a consequence. Non-resonance is not a technique. Non-resonance is a consequence. And you cannot fake non-resonance. You see, non-resonance emerges when your nervous system is regulated. Non-resonance emerges when your self-referencing is restored. Non-resonance happens when your identity re-anchors internally. Oh, that's fella army arrangement. Whether you like or you don't like, after you hear these two talk, if you like, you go, yeah. You know, Fela and Nicola Pukuti. Yeah. No, die for nothing. Fela. Wrongfully, yeah. Fela. This is army arrangement by Fela. You see that. Fela, army arrangements. The best music for fighting narcissistic systems, fella. So let me keep going. You see, non-resonance is not a technique, it's a state of being. Meaning that the narcissistic systems can no longer depend on your reaction. And at that point, any withdrawal is pointless because you don't pull away, you stop matching frequency. And the system cannot follow. You see, this is why the revolution is quiet. In K-pop demon hunters, they use music, but the revolution is quiet. Non-resonance cannot be dramatized. It cannot be televised. It cannot be argued. Non-resonance looks like calm. Non-resonance looks like slowness. See, Kim fella? Non-resonance looks like ordinary presence. Non-resonance looks like reduced explanation. Non-resonance looks like increased simplicity. I'm so glad he hates fella. Fella is for empaths now, you know. And energetically, everything I've just described, being calm, being slow, being ordinary, being internally validated, and living in simplicity. This is devastating to extractive systems because they cannot survive coherence. They cannot. So be like Rumi from K-pop Demon Hunters and come into non-resonance. Come into non-resonance. Non-resonance is the point of no return. Non-resonance is the door because once crossed, something fundamental reorganizes. You don't maintain it, you cannot go back. Because the deepest truth is narcissistic systems were never real. The narcissistic system was not a world. It was a shared hallucination maintained by mutual dysregulation. Keep calm. Very good. Let me say it again. The narcissistic world was not a world. If you've escaped, the narcissistic world was a shared hallucination maintained by mutual dysregulation. Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? The narcissistic world was a shared hallucination maintained by mutual dysregulation. That's why you got stuck there. And I'll give you the evidence. Group narcissistic systems rely on mental programming, hijacking your threat-based bonding. Because once your nervous system exits that loop, your reality loses coherence. Now, the reason you feel invisible after true withdrawal is many people report something unsettling after non-resonance happens. Narcissists stop noticing you. When people try to provoke you, it doesn't happen. It misses you. You no longer feel targeted. Even your allies may seem quieter. This is a phase exit. It's not a loss. In physics, objects in different phases can occupy the same space and not interact. So you didn't disappear. You just change your dimension. You change your frequency. That's what non-resonance is. That's what non-resonance is. So if you're ready to get into non-resonance, book a free session with me at innermileage.com. At innermileage.com, and we'll tell you the truth. How you come into non-resonance using K-pop demon hunters as an illustration point for how you escape when you start to define yourself for yourself. So that's the message. That is the message. Thank you so much for tuning in. Non-resonance is the way out. Non-resonance. Non-resonance. And non-resonance is the way out because Narcissists can no longer extract from you when they cannot catch your frequency. And non-resonance is tuning into the truest frequency rooted in self-love. So you know where to find me. Book a free session with me at innermileage.com if I can be of help to you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It doesn't matter what kind of arrangements they make. Fella is telling you you can overcome any and everything. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One love. One love. For those who have ears, hear me. Hear fella. Non-resonance. That's the real revolution. Non-resonance. Non-resonance. One love, 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 one love. I'm from the United States, you heard? I am from everywhere, the Aboriginal, but you knew that. You knew that. One love, one love, one love, one love.